Hi, I'm Judy. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga. Today I've got a Yin Yoga practice for early spring, and this would be an absolutely outstanding practice to do before you go to sleep at night. So begin by sitting up on something that will raise your hips above your knees so that you can sit comfortably. Begin to notice your breath moving in and out of your body. Notice your seat, where it meets whatever you're sitting on. How does that feel? Do you need to adjust a little bit? Does it feel safe and secure? What sounds are you hearing? How do the clothes you are wearing feel against your body? Are they comfortable? Or maybe they're a little tight and not so comfortable. And if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes. And your next inhale, take your shoulders up, back, and down, just trying to get out any tension you may be holding in your shoulders and your upper back. Allow your spine to grow very long from the support of your seat. And allowing your head to just float on top of your neck. Begin to take your attention inwards. I want you to think of a time when someone's been generous to you. And that could be really recent. It could be a very small gesture. It could be something from a long time ago and a very large gesture. Anything in between. And continue to think about the generosities that loved ones and friends, strangers, acquaintances have given to you over time. And I want you to think about how you can pay that generosity, that kindness, forward in your life. Today's practice, as I said, is for early spring and also very, very good for coming down before you sleep. And it also concentrates on the liver and gallbladder meridians, which are the meridians associated with spring. And we often think about that as releasing our anger, our frustration, our resentment. And today I want to flip that and think about the good things you get from your liver when it's in balance. And that's kindness and generosity. And we're going to begin today's practice in a posture for kidneys and bladder. And those are the elements associated from winter. So we move from winter into spring. It's not a fast transition. It kind of goes back and forth. Today where I am, it is actually quite cold and winter-like. And I'm pretending it's spring once again with the way I'm dressing. But that's the way it goes. It goes back and forth until we move into spring. So the same is true of the elements. One day you may be needing to focus on your kidneys and your bladder. The next day you may need to focus on your liver and your gallbladder. Physically, we're going to be strengthening our low back. We're going to be strengthening our hips, also concentrating on our inner thighs. And now is a great time to set your own intention. You can use what I've offered, concentrating on kindness and generosity, or I invite you to set your own intention right now. And if you don't want an intention, that's perfectly fine too. go ahead and let all of that go and begin to blink your eyes open. If you're sitting up on something, you might want to turn to face the short end of your mat and still sit up on something. I'm going to go ahead and take my cushion out, but raising your hips a little bit in our first posture is a good idea as well. So stretching your legs straight out in front of you. Begin by sitting up very tall, coming into caterpillar pose. And we are focusing on our kidneys and our bladder right now. And that is the spine, the hamstrings, and the chest and the abs. And if you have some blankets or a bolster nearby, I invite you to go ahead and put them on top of your legs. And begin to let your head be very heavy. You can also grab a block and put it on top of the bolster and put your forehead on a block. That is an option. But whether you're using props or not, go ahead and let the head begin to bow down towards your legs. Softening throughout your shoulders and your upper back. Just letting time and gravity bring that head closer to your legs. Maybe taking your palms towards the ceiling. Don't worry about how far down your head comes. Wherever it comes to, as long as you're feeling sensations in your spine and your chest, your abs and your hamstrings, you are in the right position for you. Last couple of breaths here. If you've turned your palms up towards the ceiling, bring them back to your mat. Maybe walk them back by your hips and press into those palms to slowly bring your head upright. And let the shoulders relax. Go ahead and let the bolster aside. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me, but I suggest you stay facing the short end of your mat. As we bring our soles of our feet together into butterfly, letting our hips fall down. Don't worry if your knees don't come down as far as mine, or if they come down further than mine. And if they're up here like this, grab a block. Put them underneath your thighs. Make this really, really comfortable for you. This is butterfly pose. Begin upright. You tuck the chin just a little bit and lengthen the neck. Thinking about energy going down the inside of your thighs, down to your feet, and coming up from your feet, and coming up the outer side of your legs to the outside of your hips. Think about that. It's an energy that's flowing very smoothly. We're now moving into our liver and gallbladder meridians, and they target exactly what I just talked about. Your inner legs, the outside of your legs, your outer hips, and begin to let your head nod forward again and be very heavy. Thinking about the openness of your body in this pose, and maybe how that is mirroring the openness you need in your life, your generosity. And if this feels like it's a little difficult for you, you can always bring your feet out further from your body. You're moving a little out of your liver meridian when you do that, but that's perfectly okay. Maybe your chin touches your chest. And maybe it comes closer to your feet, but once again, getting your head to your feet is absolutely not the purpose of butterfly pose. And if you find that your back is speaking to you more than you'd like, I do invite you to sit up on something to raise your hips. How can you be more kind to yourself, to your body, to your thoughts? And when you are kind to yourself, is it easier to be kind to others? Last couple of breaths here. And go ahead, once again, take your hands to the mat or the floor. Press into your palms to slowly begin to straighten your spine. Walking your hands back to your body. And maybe taking your feet out wide and doing some windshield wipers to just release that low back. There's a lot of tension on your low back in that position. And continue to face the short end of your mat, bringing yourself down towards it, and slowly come down to your elbows, and then straighten your back along your mat, walking your feet in closer to your glutes. And inhale, take your right foot across your left knee, opening out that right hip and thigh. And normally in this pose, we want to really flex the foot, and that will activate the muscles around your knee to keep your knee strong and safe. But you can play around with just relaxing it and see how that feels on your knee. Remember, in Yin Yoga, we're not trying to contract our muscles at all. We're trying to relax the muscles so we can go deeper into our connective tissue. Strengthen that to help protect those muscles and to help protect our joints. I like to take my arms out a little way from my body. I find that when I do that, I don't tense my back, my upper back as much. It allows that upper back in my body to relax a little bit more. Always trying to find the kindness position in your body. And this is reclined swan. So this is a great alternative for swan, or pigeon as it's known in Hatha Yoga, which again can be a little bit too much for a lot of people's knees. Even though it's ultimately good for them, it's never good if you're injuring yourself. So this is always a great option whenever a Hatha Yoga or Yin Yoga class calls for a swan pose or pigeon pose. Much more accessible pose for most bodies. Again, think of that energy going up your outer leg, up your outer thigh, all the way around your outer hips. Last couple breaths here. And your next exhale, unwind your legs. Bring the soles of both feet onto the mat and just wiggle a little bit and find that nice straight spine again, and take a few breaths here. Feeling your body sinking into your mat. Feeling that support. Feeling safe. And on your next inhale, bend the left leg, bring it across the right thigh. And again, find the foot position that works for you here. Imagine that energy coming up your outer leg to your outer hip, going down the insides of your thigh, and then back up the outer leg. Imagine that energy as a bright light running smoothly the outside of your leg, the inside of your leg. The last couple of breaths here. And your next inhale, unwind that left leg, bring both feet to your mat, and just pause. Are you noticing any tingling running up and down your legs? Can you feel that energy moving? Now go ahead and lift your hips, move your feet over towards the right side of your mat. Take your right leg over your left, right knee over the left knee, and begin to let those legs just fall over to the side. Hopefully you have enough space behind you to open that other arm out to your side. Last couple breaths here. And slowly bringing your legs back up. Lift your hips, bring them back to the middle of your mat, and walk your feet over to the left side. Lift your hips, bring them over to the left side. Take your left leg over the right, and allow your legs to fall over to the side. Arm reaches out. You can always take a bolster, a block, a folded blanket, and put it underneath this knee on the other side. Give it something to relax into. Last couple breaths here. And being very kind to your body, unwind your legs, slowly come back so that your spine is on the mat, your feet are on the mat, knees are bent, and slowly roll to one side, pushing yourself up. We're going to take a little time in child's pose before moving into Savasana to release that low back. So take the toes together and the knees out as wide as the mat if that's comfortable for you. Feel free to take any variation of child pose that works for you. You can also bring a bolster underneath your torso as you come down. And you can also, I'm going to offer this to you, Take one hand behind your back and stretch the opposite hand out. And maybe taking that hand on your back to your low back. Palm faces the sky. Reminding that low back to just release. The head can be facing towards the outstretched hand. You might start to hear some rumblings in your stomach. You may have already started to hear that. That is a really great sign that you're moving from your fright, flight, or freeze nervous system and into your rest and digest. Go ahead and bring that outstretched hand back in front of the knee and the other hand in front of the knee. Just begin to take your forehead to the mat and stretch your hands out forward. Take a couple breaths here. Really breathing into the back. Feeling the rib cage moving away from each other on the inhale and falling back towards each other on the exhale. And go ahead and begin to take a second side. I'm just going to reverse my position so you can see me. And stretching one arm out to the side, other hand bends and comes to the low back if that's comfortable for you. And looking out towards the outstretched hand. Knees are wide. Wide-legged child's pose. Maybe even rubbing a little bit on that low back. Also getting back in that kidney energy, or rather, kidneys are back there. And then bringing the forehead down to the mat, stretching the arms out straight from your body. And just feeling that back expanding. Relaxing. Be very kind to your low back. And happy spine, happy life. And slowly press into your hands. Open back to your body. Roll over to come onto your back. And slowly coming down onto the back, coming into Savasana, stretching your legs straight down to the short end of your mat. Maybe placing a bolster under your knees. Taking your arms a little away from your body. Palms can be face up or face down, whatever feels comfortable for you. While I sit up and hold space for you. And bring your attention back to your intention for this practice. Whether that's the intention that I offered, being kind to yourself, being kind to others, thinking about the generosities that you receive in your life and how you can pay that forward to others, or the intention you set for yourself. Now is a nice time to think about that. As you're allowing your body to completely relax, letting it integrate this practice. This is also a great practice to do in bed right before sleep. So I invite you to stay in Savasana as long as you'd like. I'm going to offer about 5 minutes here today. And maybe just drift right off to sleep. I'll leave you in silence. Just luxuriate in Savasana until you hear me speak again. Begin to let your breath deepen. Sink deeper and deeper into the safety and support of your mat. Feel all the points along your body that are touching that mat. Just let them go, let them soften. And begin to take any small movements that you need. Maybe nodding your head up and down a few times, turning it side to side, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe circling ankles and wrists. And your next inhale, inhale up, reaching your hands away from your feet, big full body stretch. And then as you let that go, bring your feet to the mat, bending your knees, letting your body roll over to one side. Eyes are still closed. Stretch your bottom hand along the mat, cradling your head on it. Take a few deep breaths here. Bring your attention back to that intention. Notice any differences between when you got on your mat and your time right now. Maybe a feeling of calmness. Maybe a feeling of fullness. maybe a feeling of release. Just notice how you feel. Begin to press into your hands, slowly walking your torso upright, coming back to an easy seated position. Inhale, press the palms of the hands together in front of your heart, and the middle fingers together. Slightly bowing your head over your hands. Giving yourself gratitude for taking the time to nurture yourself. This might be the only time to yourself you have the entire day. It's important that you give yourself this gift. Well, I give you so much gratitude for choosing to practice with me. And slowly begin to blink your eyes open, taking in the floor, or staying in Savasana and drifting off to sleep, or raising your head, hopefully with a smile on your face. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you feel relaxed and ready for a great night's sleep. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. And may you experience a restorative, deep sleep. If you enjoyed this practice, please go ahead and click the like button. And if you'd like to donate something to help me keep being able to produce these videos for free, there's a link underneath in the description box. If you'd like to practice with me again, also click the subscribe button and the bell. Have a wonderful night or morning, whenever you're practicing.